Yeah. Right, so he's talking about even though the Malachim have aliyahs, and Meridik aliyahs, and the Malach himself is relatively speaking, no, we shouldn't use the word ben arech, but completely, vastly greater, beruchnius, than creation in the world. Malach b'shlish olam imid. It means that the Malach is a third of the world, but there's a pirush in Chassidus that the world is a third of the Malach. Then he brought also from the Gemara, Giga, that even the ragli of the feet of the chayis is connected kulon. The legs of the chayis is connected kulon. The Gemara goes on to say that kasulia chayis connected kulon. The ankles correspond to all of them, meaning the shiva rekiyim and the spaces between them. Each one a distance of human travel of 500 years, so it's vast. So this is all talking about the chaymer of the malachim, which he says is b'midah gedolah b'yoser. But still, in the day of mikol mokim, that's what we're up to. Of mikol mokim, hari zev b'chinas gvul. Still, as vast as it is, it's gvul. It's limited. That's what we're up to. Now, Kivan, just 1 second.
The line that begins where?
The first word, b'yoser. It's a few lines, but it's just between 31 and 32.
Okay, got it.
The kiven shechaymer hamalachim with midah v'gvul. Since the chaymer is midah gvul, it's a chaymer ruchni, but still a chaymer, still a material. Hari behecher shegam tzuras nefesh hamalachim b'midah gvul. So the tzura and the nefesh, the tzura is lashon Rambam. Everything is a chaymer tzura. The tzura is the ruchnius. It also means literally the form, because chaymer is pashut, and the tzura of chesed, the tzura of gvura, it's like the keli, the nefesh is the ruchnius, the oir. So of the malachim, the whole package, the midah gvul. The fish chaymer v'tzura shelahem im be'erech zel hazeh, because the chaymer and the tzura, the ruchnius, are comparable. The be'erech. So since the chaymer is gvul, the tzura is also gvul. What about the neshama? The neshama comes into guf, that means the neshama is also gvul. The whole point is that the neshama is not. That only the neshamas can have the true tzeno re'ena, the true arizgin von sich. So he explains this now. So it's as explained in the Maimir, to understand the reason, we learned this, we encountered this a few months ago. So why is it that the way human body was created is different than all the other creatures? All of the other creatures, bodies and souls, were made as one. And that's because the point that we're saying now, the yoisam be'erech zel hazeh, because they are comparable, they are one basic together. They are one, even the nefesh is limited profoundly, just like the guf. And therefore, the same is also true of malachim k'moikim, malachim sh'nikrem b'shem behemis chayis v'oifes. Malachim aruchnis dike behemis, and ruchnis dike chayis, and ruchnis dike birds. They too in achim v'atzura shalahem in be'erech zel hazeh. So their chayim and their tzura, again, their ruchnius are comparable, and it's an easy fit. One fits into the other. It continues in the Marichas about this. So we see that the nefesh of the malach has a seamless effect on the guf of the malach. The whole subject of Galgalim is lo pashut, but Rambam speaks about the various spheres that rotate surrounding the world. And his whole point is, it all points to the creator, that there must be a force that makes them rotate. So they are actually malachim. They're spiritual, quasi-spiritual energies, forces, quasi-spiritual because they're somewhat physical. The higher you go, the more ruchni is, the lower, the more chumri is. So at any rate, what's he saying? We see by the Galgalim, nefesh ha-galgal oimer shira. So when the ruchni is the chelik of the malach says, which is the galgal is the malach, says shira as a gam choymer mishtachave. Then his physical part bows down to the Eibishter. What he's saying is that they all rotate towards the east, where the Shechina is in the Mizrach. So, what causes the rotation? It's the Shira. So the Ruchnisdike component, the praise that the Malach gives to the Eibishter is immediately translates immediately. It's not pearl. It's not pearl as in a choice. It's the natural expression is of the Chomer of the Malach, which is the actual galgal that rotates around the earth. And its rotation is expression of the bitl of the shtachava, like it says in Tanya, to the Creator. That's the siva of Shem Misav and Mizrach Mayrev that goes from east to west. I'm sorry, the Shechina is in Mayrev. Shechina is in the west, sorry. Facing from the east to the west. The Shechina is in the Mayrev, which is where, that's why they rotate from east to west. The point being that the song, the praise, the ruchnis de kechelik naturally affects the chumnis de kechelik. Malachin, therefore, by Yeshua, this was Gimel Tammuz. The Seder HaDorah says, this was Mamash Gimel Tammuz, this event, where Yeshua stopped the sun on a Friday afternoon in order to complete the war in Givon. As the pasuk says, he said, what did he say? He said, sun, in Givon be silent. Silent? Why is he telling the sun to be silent? He's telling the sun to stop moving, to stop its rotation. So Rashi explains the silence of the Shira. What's the chli is doim meloim Shira. He's telling the sun, which is in a particular orbit, to be silent, the malach to be silent, saying Shira, and then naturally it will stop its rotation. The malach's interruption or stopping of saying its song, naturally affected the stopping of the movement, which is the bowing as it goes from Mizrach to Ma'ariv of the Chomer, of the physical galgal in which the sun is a part, and therefore the sun moves in that orbit. And as a result of the cessation of the Shira, so the siva of the orbit of the sun stopped. That's all by what? By malachim, and for that matter, he says, all creatures, all living creatures are created nefesh and chomer as one. However, continuing. Turn next page if you have it. Give and shachayim van nefesh the malachim heim berach zelazeh. So since the chomer and the nefesh therefore are comparable, one again fuses naturally and easily with the other. And mitzad hagbolas chomer malachim, since we see that there's a limit to the chomer, shlisha vast, like the Sea of Tarshish, that we explained yesterday, but at any rate, it's all limited. So behechrech, since the nefesh is be'erech to the chomer, perforce you must conclude that shegam nefesh alehem the nefesh, the spiritual dimension, the purely spiritual dimension, the gamma vedosam, and the avodah which they offer to the Eibishter, shimitzad the nefesh, which comes from their nefesh, their song, their praise. He bagbola is limited. So Malach is not shaykh, despite the rotze v'shuv, to a true aliyah, to a Tzeno, to go out. And therefore, the malachim are called the stationary ones, notwithstanding their ascent. Even though they ascend in their praise, every ascent is relatively connected. There's no radical change. There's no quantum leap. It's all connected to the previous level. So at the end of the day, the big picture, they're stationary. They've never really gone anywhere. And we can predict exactly where he's going to be tomorrow, the next day. So it's all in the same gather. It's all in the broader picture, stationary. There's no real movement. The highest level, the highest ascent, is the lowest level of the next level. And so canal, as we proceeded, is an ilah va'olol, a chain of interlocking levels, each one connected to the other.
Can we infer from this, by a person, the minute a person wants to do something, the foot works, the foot walks, everything operates as the minute the person wants. We say that the rotzen of a person, legabe, the rest of the person, even though it's higher, it's be'erach, just like the guf and neshama of a malach.
That part, yes, yeah. But then the nefesh shalikis,
Okay, right. I just want
which is thrust into the guf. That chibur is koich hamafli lases. That's a koich hamafli lases. That's only, as we learned, it was the previous maamar, 2 maamarim ago. B'cheiko atzmos, that and the neshama could get into a body, as he goes on to say. Not the Zoysia is a little bit different, but that he's going to say. So let's see. Yeah. So now the Protheus is going to draw the parallel, I'm sorry. Thank you. Are you not staying?
I'm not staying. I'll pick it up another time.
But I'm going away after Shavuos for a week.
It's 40.
Huh? So wait 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm okay. So now to explain the contrast, the difference between the shirish of the malach and the neshama. So what's the pneumatic reason that the malach is rather tethered to his essential limitation, and the neshama is not? Notwithstanding, the neshama comes into a guf also, and the guf of the human being is much more chumrious, much more physical, of course, than the guf, the chaymer of the malach. So we would think logically the opposite, of course, that a malach is shaykh to true aliyas, but he is in this guf down here, in the chaymer gashmi gas, he's certainly not shaykh to any incomparable aliyas. But as the fact is not so, and he's going to explain why. The fish is shirish hamalachim malchus datzilos. What's the shirish hamalachim malchus datzilos? The Eibishter's word, as it were. Al pi maimer kav hamidah. And malchus datzilos, in fact, all of the spheres, is a result of the maimer kav hamidah. I'm not exactly sure maimer as in Hashem's, thank you, Hashem's instruction, but kav hamidah is, it's a statement, it's a general statement. Maimer kav hamidah means it's through a kav hamidah, a measured amount literally measured line, a line implying higher and lower, different points in the line. So it shows from a level of Alikus, which is Kavamida, there's higher, there's lower, Malchus, the sphere is above it, etc. Now tracing that source back, tracing the source of Malchus Datzilus, Yad the Sherish Harishim, the first Sherish of Ishtalshalos, that first projection of Alikus, which is also described as a thread or as a line, post Tzimtzum, Shenikra Kav Hamida, that's called literally a measuring line. A measuring line in construction, in engineering, there's a measuring line, a measuring apparatus. Shemoidid, this column madreges that measures all the levels, liyos ma'ilo mata, to give rise to higher and lower. The tzimtzum creates the oil which projects through it to be inherently kavamida, to be inherently limited, to have this property of higher and lower. Therefore, the knowledge of the Eibishter Malachim, we learned recently now, the laws of the foundations of the Torah, Shemakirim, that they recognize and understand the Eibishter with a very profound knowledge. Nonetheless, even the loftiest grasp, for example, the highest level of the Seraphim, their grasp is so great that they burn up in it, meaning they become completely dissolved in their union with the Likus. They understand the truth of the Likus so great and their own insignificance that Havana, that's what it means, that in Nisraf, they burn their sense of what? Of separation, of insignificance. And that's what they call Seraphim. But it's an endless process. It's an endless process. They're upgrading. But the starting point forever is the self. It's all limited. Before they're called Oimdim.
Why are you saying the starting point is themselves? Even the ending point is themselves. It's not themselves, but it's still not the real thing.
Since the starting point is themselves, they can never escape that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The start and the end. Yeah. It's not like, because the starting point of the Neshamas Hasoga is Yichudi Ilah, is a Likus. A Likus, then me. Eibishter, then me. The Malach is me, then God. So therefore they're called Oimdim L'fi Hasoga Selikus Shalehem. Their Hasoga Mela Gam Vidosam Habo Mitzad Segosam the Avodah, which comes from their appreciation, the grasp, even Medida Vakbala. It's limited. You say to me, moreover, a little bit further. Same is true of Neshamas. Here's the ultimate paradox. The same is true of Neshamas before they come into a guf. They're also called stationary before the Neshamas come down. Look, Moishe Kos, like the Navi says, Chai Havaya Lekei Yisrael, the living God, Lord of Israel, Asher Amadati Lefonov, that I stood before him, referring to his own neshama before descended into the guf. Eliyahu speaking. Amadati Dafke. I stood behind the Meyoisha neshamas. So we'll continue next time. We'll tell the story now. Go a little further. Even though neshamas have the level of tahiri, it's pure as we say each morning. Higher than you created it, which is the bria lama bria. Moreover, tracing the neshama back even higher still. That the shortish of neshama is the Eibishter's thought, like it says in Medrash. That Yisrael, Olu b'machshava Yidin, the Neshamas Yisrael ascended in the divine thought, and in machshava gufa. The ad, the b'chinas machshava akadum b'da'ak, that the primal machshava Adam Kadm, which is the highest dargis in machshava, become mokim, nonetheless, kamheim, nikroim kamheim b'shem oimdim. Before it comes into the guf, the neshama is still stationary. Well, kamayim, like it says in Zohar, called nishmosa, every nishmosa, v'kaim exists, b'diokina in the image, kami malka kadisha, before the Holy King. It's interesting, Aura 43 says, they say, Rei Oras Chakad Mushlita, see the Rebbe's note on Seif Mamorim Tafrei Tzaddik Vav and Tavshin Yud Aleph. If you look there, the Rebbe writes that this Lashon is brought in Chassidus, but he didn't find it anywhere in the Zohar. But it's brought frequently in Chassidus. But the point being, that what's the Lashon is Kaimo, standing. The Malka Kadisha, what's the Holy King? That's Zod Atzilis. The Kamokim Nembas Lashon Kaima, that each in Neshama Kaima means but Lashon Shipirusha Mida, which means standing. If you should gam Atzilus, even Zod Atzilis, as lofty as it is, it's still limited. Rabbi Yeridas HaNeshama Lamata only. Here's the profound irony and paradox. It's only when the neshama comes the mata v'istapshusa beguf that unlocks coming into the body dafke, as we learned in the previous maamar, because dafke gashmius is not created through the process of ilul v'olam. Dafke gashmius is created by atzmos. The Eibush himself that has nothing that precedes him. So coming into the guf as in his galubah koicha insof, that reveals the neshama's own source in insof in the Eibush. The Eibush has no limits at all. God forbid. So first of all, that doesn't say this here, that's what spells the chibur. How could the neshama be in a body? It's koycha insof. But moreover, as a efshali is etzla, which we're talking here, amitis inyan ha'iluch, therefore unlocked in the neshamas, it's true shayrish, it's chelik lekam yimal mamash, the chelik lekam yimal. That's already before it comes down to the world. But when is the mamish chelik alakam yimal? When it comes into the mamoshes of the guf. Can you do with the vote of the Rebbe Rashab? The Friedrich Rebbe relates that he was told as a child that the word mamish embraces the two extremes. Mamish elikos, but where is that revealed? Dafka in the mamish, the mamoshes, the materiality of the guf. And that's what unlocks, therefore, that only a yid down here can become a mahalach, the lishim hakbolas klal, and make radical change without limits at all. But this is going to, actually, I wasn't giving hasbara, but I see in the next eyes, beautiful hasbara, why the neshama lamayla, the koicha ain't sof, cannot be revealed in it. And it has to come into a guf. That's the beauty of the Siddur, my mother, the same question, the same questions, and deeper and more elaborate explanations. So David says, I want you to get to know me and yourself more and more. Okay, that's coming Be'ez Hashem on Tuesday. And then we're off to Australia and we'll figure out the Seder after that. Okay.